Please welcome Khalid Yassin.
Thank you. So bright. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for being here. I'm very happy to be here with you today. I'm going to start with an analogy, and again, depending on where I'm coming from. So please, I want you all to imagine this with me. Imagine you're living in a beautiful village where a big number of its people are unhappy. They say, life is hard and work is draining. People who work there, they feel burned out, underpaid, and not appreciated. And lots of them constantly want to leave the village. In some areas, the people who want to leave the village are more than the people who want to stay or even come into the village. Despite all this, you still hear lots of voices around the village saying, I love it here. There's no other place on earth I'd rather be. This is so rewarding. I can never leave this village. This is exactly where I come from. This is the education field. Now, I started working in education more than 20 years ago as a mathematics teacher. In fact, teaching was one of the things that I enjoyed doing the most. But what was funny, when I was your age at university, every time I used to meet a student on campus, the first question is always, so what are you studying? Every time I used to tell them mathematics, they used to do this. Ouch. As if it was a disease or something. Now, I know why they used to say that or do that. 2 reasons. One, mathematics itself. Because they used to tell me, we ran away from mathematics from high school, and you followed it here? And the second reason, they knew I was going to end up going to that village. So when we hear all this, when we hear about a field with all those challenges, we start asking ourselves, what is needed? What do we need? I say we need what I call amazing leaders. Those leaders in education who, the moment they show up, they bring with them passion, inspiration, and positive change. I met those leaders, worked with them, got inspired by them. I joined their mission and invited others to join. I supported many to become among those leaders. And I still do that until today. Actually, I love it. There's nothing else I'd rather be doing other than working in education. It is so rewarding. I can never leave this village. It's who I am. Now, going back to those leaders, who are those leaders? What makes them special? What makes them amazing? Now, people who work closely with me, and I can see some here, they know that I always use the word amazing when talking about those successful, impactful leaders in education. But at the same time, I know what you might be saying. You might be saying, those leaders are old. It's still too early for me to be one of them. Well, let me tell you this. It's not about the age. Some of the best leaders in education who I worked with were somehow your age, fresh graduates. Imagine, at the age of 22, you are someone's hero and source of inspiration. What a privilege. Working closely with leaders and in leadership development programs, I saw that all those amazing leaders have common traits. Now, of course, all the good leaders from all the fields, they have similar traits and characteristics. But in education specifically, I saw that they all have some common traits. I saw that all the experienced good leaders have those. And at the same time, while working in leadership development, during selection, every time I used to meet a candidate with those traits, I knew that this person is going to end up doing a great job as a leader in education. So what are those traits? I'm going to talk about 3. First one, I saw that all those amazing leaders have a deep sense of purpose. They have what Simon Sinek calls a compelling why. Like, why are we doing this? I saw that they all tie what they do to something bigger than them, or their goals, or their achievements. Examples, I saw that they all want to make the world a better place. Some told me, we are doing it for the sake of Allah. Others, they wanted to give back to their countries and to their communities. They used to say, and I quote, "My country gave me a lot, and it's time for me to give back." This and many other examples. When we hear this, we understand why those are passionate and they radiate love, care, and positivity. We understand the resilience and how every time those leaders are faced with challenges, they persevere. And sometimes by simply going back to why are we doing this? I remember working with one of those leaders, and in one of our meetings, she was actually in tears from the stress and the overwhelm. I remember she took her tissue, cleaned her tears, looked at me and said, "I can't quit. They need me." Now that's purpose. The second trait I'm going to be talking about is that all those amazing leaders are into empowerment. They spend or they invest significant efforts in their personal development, acquiring valuable knowledge, skills, and mindsets. However, they view that as a blessing and a gift which they must use for humanity. All those leaders are into sharing. Of course, knowledge is not yours. It belongs to the people. Isn't that why we're all here today? Isn't that why we have been listening to all those great insights being shared all day? TED, ideas worth spreading and worth sharing. Those leaders are humble and selfless. For them, it's not about them getting the credit and looking good. It's about the people they work with, how much they can give them and how much they can empower them. That's the approach they work by. That's the approach they live by. So you see, remember the person. They will teach you, train you, coach you, advise you, lead you, mentor you, push you, challenge you. They will do anything to empower you. Going back to that village, in addition to the people who plant and harvest crops every season, we want people who plant trees and think about the future and sustainability. We want people with visions and long-term goals. We want people who are willing to plant, knowing that it's not going to be them who's going to harvest the rewards. But they do it for the benefit of others. Third and last trait I'm going to be talking about. I saw that all those amazing leaders strongly and unquestionably believe in the human potential. They believe that all the people around them can learn and develop. They always bet on people. Actually, I haven't seen anyone investing in people around them, whether it's students or adults, and not witnessing positive change. Never. Again, it's just like those farmers. When they are planting, they don't say, this plant is going to make it, this plant, no. Or this seed is going to make it, and this seed, no. They plant with faith in the process. Same like those leaders. They believe in the potential within and the beauty and the greatness that will come out from it. Those leaders will never tell you, I can do it. But instead, you will always hear them saying, I know you can do it. I believe in you. And when you say, I can't, they will not accept that. They will say, you can't yet. But you will get there. And they will make sure that you get there. Another one of those leaders, in her podcast, she once said, and I quote, she said, what my mentor did with me, he saw potential in me. He told me I have potential. He helped me see and realize that potential. And he stuck around to see me use and utilize that potential. That's what I expect from my mentor. And I say, that's the type of leaders we want. At the end of my speech, for me, personally, the most special aspect about working in education is that continuous cycle of empowerment and inspiration, where it's very simple. You empower and inspire someone today who, in a short time, ends up inspiring you in return. And that's the source of fulfillment. So, as we all leave here today, let us all learn from those leaders. And let's make a commitment to be the leader our communities truly need, our families and our friends need. So together, let us all inspire, empower, and uplift one another. We all need that. We need that if we want our village to flourish. We need that if we want our world to thrive. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you. Thank you.